We'll get this out of the way now. We'll get this out of the way now. As there is a new match added to Impact Wrestling's first pay-per-view of the new year. That is Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill, set to take place on January the 13th. That is Friday, January 13th, live in Atlanta, Georgia, with Josh Alexander defending his Impact Wrestling World Championship against Bully Ray in TNA's, or Impact Wrestling's, version of the TLC match, Full Metal Mayhem, with Bully Ray looking for his third championship match, and I believe the title opportunity that they won back at Bound for Glory in October. But with this title defense, or as of yesterday, I believe, Josh Alexander passed former Impact Wrestling World Champion Bobby Roode as the longest reigning Impact Wrestling Champion in the history of the promotion. Bobby Roode previously held the record, and I believe Bobby Roode's record was 253, and Josh Alexander just passed it with 254. So Josh Alexander now holds the record of the longest reigning Impact Wrestling World Champion in the history of Impact Wrestling. And there was also a Four Corners elimination match for the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles, as the champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, go against Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, the major players, the Bullet Club, and Heath and Rhino in an elimination tag team match. Mickie James put her career on the line against the women's champion, or the Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace. Yes, that does in fact mean that if Mickie James does lose, then Mickie James will have to retire, as Mickie James has been going through the retirement tour over pretty much the entirety of 2022. And you have to figure that if she wins the title, that means not only would losing the title lead to her, losing the title, but also losing the title would lead to her retiring. But that's a question for another day, as Black Tyrus challenges Impact Wrestling X Division champion Trey Miguel for the title at Hard to Kill. Jonathan Gresham against Eddie Edwards. Jonathan Gresham made his debut in Impact Wrestling recently, defending Delirious against an attack from Eddie Edwards. And if that wasn't enough, a three-way number one contender match with Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa, against Taylor Wilde and Masha Slamovich. The winner will earn a future title shot against whomever the champion is at the end of the night. That is Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill, and I do believe we have one more episode of Impact before Hard to Kill on January the 13th. But wrestling, zoom, zoom, zoom. We also got MLW's taping for Blood and Thunder on January the 7th, this weekend. So if you're looking for wrestling to watch, there's plenty of wrestling around. But now, off to some interesting news, as the Hurt Business may possibly be making a return to WWE very, very soon. As if you saw last week's episode of Raw, you would see Adam Pearce in the back talking to Montel, MVP, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin, leading to rumors that the Hurt Business may be making a return to WWE for the third time. Let's just hope that this time they do better than the last time, because the last time they were barely together, and the first time they left a lot on the table. So let's hope they give them not just the time of day, but the opportunity that they didn't get the first time around, or the last couple of times, because it benefits everyone involved. It benefits everybody involved having the Hurt Business be a stable and be together, especially Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, because either way, Bobby Lashley is going to be featured on television. But it also seems like they may be going in a different direction with MVP, dropping him as the manager of Omos. Otherwise, why would MVP be pairing up in a backstage segment with his former stablemates? Riddle is also planning a return, or rumored to be making a return very soon. Riddle has been on the shelf for undisclosed reasons. It seems like Riddle has been on the shelf nursing an injury. I mean, it was said that he was nursing an injury, but it also seems like Riddle may have been sent to rehab for a failed drug test that basically he was told if he does not go to rehab for it, he will be fired. So he took rehab instead of getting fired. But Riddle is supposed to be back in the middle of February. So at this point, Riddle will be missing the Royal Rumble. He will be missing the Royal Rumble, but he will be back before WrestleMania. So it is a question of what Riddle will do as we get closer to WrestleMania. But speaking of people coming back, we may be seeing Braun Breaker make a move to the main roster, because you have to figure that there's actually at least a possibility that Breaker will drop his title at New Year's Evil to Grayson Waller, because I think that NXT needs a refresh, and I think Grayson Waller, I mean, honestly, I would have thought Carmelo Hayes, but I think Grayson Waller may be the one to do that. And there are rumors that you can have the easiest way to do it is to have Braun Breaker appear in the Royal Rumble and have that be a glimpse at what to expect from him on the main roster. But I think, if anything, if you want to bring Braun Breaker up, then let him work the last 2 months in NXT and bring him up via the draft after WrestleMania. Speaking of NXT, though, there is a new character coming in to NXT, as somebody was documenting the Women's Tag Team Champions, the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, in the medical area, anonymously. So something similar to GTV back in the day, but it seems like NXT may be making way for another addition to the roster very, very soon. With that being said, though, this is it for me for the night. I do appreciate you sticking around, and I hope that you didn't wait too long for your wrestling news. Back to normal tomorrow. But either way, I'm done for today, and I will see you in the next video.